Started. Welcome, YouTube watchers. Hi, how are you? My wife is upstairs. My co-hosts are right there, Brad and Anessa.
Hello.
Howdy.
And we're about to record another episode. Well, if you're watching this later on, we have already recorded, but you're about to watch an episode of the Alien Invasion podcast. And just a disclaimer, this is a rough, just kind of pre-edited version of the podcast. If you want to listen to the whole thing, all pretty, sounding awesome, go to gncasts.com/aliens, gncasts, gncasts.com/aliens. And I think you'll enjoy it. And I'm sure you'll enjoy this too. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Alien Invasion number 199, a Galactic Network podcast. I'm Dave Nelson along with Brad Ludwig and Anessa Moynes. Hello, guys.
Hello.
Happy Halloween week.
Mwahahaha.
Pretty sure this is coming out a couple of days after Halloween, but we're still kind of in the scary Halloween type mode. If you catch my drift.
Happy Day of the Dead then?
Okay. Is that I thought that was before Halloween.
No, it's after.
Oh, it's after. Okay. So it's more of a Day of the Dead than Halloween, I guess.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe.
What are you guys doing for Halloween?
Working?
Yeah, I am.
No plans.
Is there a dress up at either of your places of employment?
Not really. I haven't noticed anyone really dress up for Halloween at work. So I usually just wear my little skull necklace, and I've got a little jack-o'-lantern sitting on my desk and a little pumpkin. So that's my Halloween decor.
So Halloween light.
Yeah. They don't like a whole lot of clutter on our countertop, so.
Okay. All right.
Well, if I feel like dressing up for Halloween, I just dress up for Halloween. I don't care.
I wonder if they'd get mad at if I wore like the Steve mask box to work. I could look like I'm from Minecraft.
There you go. Boom.
Like wearing a cardboard box on my head.
See what they say. All right. So want to thank Monkey Warhol for providing our intro music. It's a song called The Alien Syndrome or just Alien Syndrome. You can find it at soundcloud.com/Monkey Warhol. This is the show where we talk about beings from elsewhere in the universe and their appearances in film, TV, video games, comic books, science, and in real life. Before we start things off with the news, my question for you guys this week is, hang on, I'm going to stop that right there. And we're going to restart the recording. All right. So to start things off, a question this week for you guys, since it is Halloween week, what's the scariest alien-themed movie that you have ever seen? Who wants to go first?
Brad can go first.
I'm going to go with John Carpenter's The Thing.
Are you talking about the original? Or
No, John Carpenter's The Thing.
John Carpenter's. Okay. All right.
Yes.
Because there's several versions. There's the original one, I believe, had a longer title back in the 1950s, I think.
Yeah.
This is the 1982.
Okay.
Correct.
And then they did the remake of the John Carpenter version a few years ago.
I don't think I've seen
It
that.
wasn't a remake. It took place at the Norwegian.
Oh, that's right. It took place at the
base.
other base.
Yeah. Okay. Doy. So what did you? Why was it so scary for you?
I saw it when I was about 14, and I lived in the country, and I watched it at night by myself. And
Why?
yeah, well, exactly. Because I was bored, I think. And so, yeah, and I had the lights off. So yeah, I watched that, and it scared the crap out of me. It was very it's a very mood.
It's similar to the original Alien.
It uses a lot of, I don't know, misdirection. There's a lot of suspense. There's a lot, and the creature is so terrifying because it can look like anything or anyone. So, at one point it becomes a dog, it could be anyone. And the effects that they used, especially when they tried to resuscitate the dude and his chest opens up into like a big mouth and bites off the guy's hands. That was really incredibly scary.
So, Anessa, what's your answer? What's the scariest alien-themed movie you've ever seen?
The first thing that popped in my head was Alien. So the original movie, and I think the biggest thing was just everything was, not everything, but there was a lot of darkness in the film, and you didn't know what to expect. There was a lot of suspense. Like, is there something around the corner? Is there something that's going to jump out? Is he about to die? Is she about to die? Like, what's going on? So, I just think it left a lot to the imagination, and I think that makes it a much more effective, like, horror movie. The ones that are just slash and gore and stuff, I don't really find those scary. But if I'm left to observe and start to kind of let my mind like do the thinking, I suppose, if that's the correct way of saying it, then I'm much more likely to find something scary or whatnot. So
the unknown is more scary than the known.
Yes, I can handle someone coming in and, with chainsaws hacking people up, whatever you can think of, and it's like, okay, well, that's ridiculous, and I can see it coming. But it's when you can't necessarily see something coming, and especially if it's not incredibly fast paced, it just really lets your mind run wild. So, and to me, that's much more scary.
All right. Perfect answers. Now let's get into the news. All right, Anessa, you've got our first story this week.
I do. Flying sorcerer.
I'm intrigued. Go on.
I just really like the title. A UFO hunter claims aliens visited the home of Count Dracula. Excuse me. Count Dracula being a character that's based off of Vlad the Impaler. If you've not really heard about the guy, I suggest you look him up on the Googles.
He was a bad man.
He was a very bad man. So he makes Count Dracula look pretty mild. I'm just saying. So, mysterious flying disc spotted near castle built by Vlad the Impaler, the bloodthirsty tyrant who inspired fictional bloodsucker Count Dracula. An academic has sunk his teeth into claims that aliens landed in Transylvania, the home of Vlad the Impaler. Dan D. Farkas, which I really wanted to read as Dandy Farkas, PhD, has unearthed startling information which suggests UFOs and otherworldly occupants visited Romania over hundreds of years. He claimed a couple saw a gigantic disc rise from a nearby lake whilst visiting the ruins of Pionari, dubbed Dracula's castle after it was rebuilt in 1459 by the bloodthirsty ruler Vlad the Impaler. At first they thought it was heading in their direction, but it moved towards Transylvania and disappeared over the mountains. Another case involved Police Sergeant Marian Manchu and Maricel Rusu, a voluntary guard who was out on night patrol in July 8, 1996 in the village of Certesi. Around 12:30 a.m., when they were in front of the police office, Mansu told Rusi that he was going to he was going back to the police accommodation to get something to eat. The moment he passed the side of the building, he heard a whistling sound and sensed a current of air. He turned around and saw on the road something, quote, splashing with blue and red lights, making a sound like a voom voom, unquote.
Vroom, vroom.
Voom voom.
Vroom.
At first, he thought it was a police car, but as he got closer, he realized it was hovering half a meter above the ground, and a small and very strange person was moving around next to it. He cried, "Guard!" and saw a horrified guard emerging from a ditch where he had been hiding. He whispered, "Mr. Marion, it is Satan." Rusu later claimed that the UFO landed just behind him and he saw 3 small human-like creatures moving around outside of it. He described them as having white faces, big heads with pointed ears, and covered in gray scales. He said they moved, quote, as if they were drunk. He stated, "When I saw what they look like, their very ugly faces, I told myself that they are not human. I became afraid and I was hiding myself in the ditch just in case something might happen because I never seen any such beings in my life before." After 2 minutes, the UFOs rose up and shot off at tremendous speed towards the village of Pochidia. Dan, 76, believes the witnesses are credible, but without proper tests, the truth may never be known. He said, "It is unlikely the witnesses could invent all the very peculiar details and go to public with them in such a highly natural and convincing manner." Ooh, I'm hearing noises. It is also unlikely that it could be a delusion staged by someone else. Unfortunately, we did not have the means to conduct any psychological tests or lie detectors, but we did not discover anybody with any kind of motivation to invent such a story. It would have been interesting to use regressive hypnosis or something similar in this case. Unfortunately, in Romania, we face a lack of professionals practicing hypnotic regression and willing to apply it in such situations. Also, even the expenses to arrange such sessions are a real problem.
And as we noted last week, it's not always trustworthy.
Exactly, they can be leading. Dan believes a medieval fresco in the monastery church in the historic city of Sighosoara, Transylvania, could depict a UFO visitation. The painting shows a large disc-shaped object floating above a building, possibly a church, with a beam coming out underneath. Under the image is written in German a passage from Psalm 137. "Israel, trust the Lord." Gilly Schechter and Hanan Sabbath from the Israeli Extraterrestrial and UFO Research Association could not find out who did the painting or when. However, the text cannot date before Luther had translated and published the Bible in German in 1534. The authors noted that the same disc hovering diagonally, divided into sectors and with the stick underneath, appeared on a number of medals from the 17th century, probably chips used in gambling. The image has been reproduced in Dan's new book, UFOs Over Romania, published by Yorkshire-based Flying Disc Press. Since 2011, he has been president of the Association of the Study of Unidentified Aerospace Phenomenon, ASFAN, in Romania. Sorry.
So one more time, please.
ASFAN. Sorry. Asfan, maybe?
No, that's bad.
So it's in Romania, and he's a member of the Academy of Medical Sciences of Romania. Dan, who holds an MSc in maths and physics, or a master's in science, I suppose, in math and physics, and a PhD in math and computers, said, "Are these painting depictions of medieval UFOs?" Sorry, I'm thinking about Asfan. Sorry. Anyway, are these painting depictions of medieval UFO sightings, or do they have a much more mundane and simpler explanation? As an academic and a UFO researcher, I must admit that the images in these paintings are certainly worth a second look, and we should not rule out the possibility that they do depict something that today would be described as a UFO. And this comes from thesun.co.uk.
Sun.co.uk. You did it again.
thesun.co.uk.
Yes. No. That's not the website I'm thinking about. What's the one where it seems they have a lot of UFO stories? It's
Is it theexpress.co.uk?
yes, theexpress.co.uk. There you go. Or
Yep.
and the Inquisitor is also another one.
Oh yeah, the Inquisitor, Express. Yeah, those two are really big into UFOs.
Mm-hmm. Very intriguing story that you told there, Anessa.
Thank you.
Whoops, sorry. So where can we go from here? How can we wrap up this story? What's your takeaway from this? Do you guys believe this story? Does it sound legitimate?
No.
I would say the UFO sightings, I would say, are probably legit. One of the witnesses, to me, it seems like they changed their story. Like one person says that they saw one, and then they said they saw three, and it was behind them as opposed to in front of them. I'm not entirely sure what was up with that, or maybe it was because it was two different people. Who knows? Maybe one had the better viewing angle, which I guess would make sense if you would see more from one end than the other. I do find I'm curious as far as what these oblong shapes are on the discs. If it was just something that somebody thought looked cool, or if it was inspired by a UFO, or if it has some other kind of meaning. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of wild. But I'm totally gonna join Ass Fan.
Okay, we'll hold on a second because Dave.
Did he finally pop out?
I think so, but we're still live on the YouTubes. So
Okay.
we'll just hold up for a moment.
Yeah, because I have no way of knowing when he's here or gone.
No, you won't, and that's why I told you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For people watching, I don't see the video, so
Yeah.
I'm flying blind. Blind.
So Dave should be back in just a moment.
Oh, man. Blink. Dave is experiencing technical difficulties.
Yep, I have this open.
I'm just letting viewers know. Boop. Is that you or me?
That's me. Just trying to see if I could download or at least get the torrent for the Sherlock Holmes stuff in case I couldn't recover it off of my hard drive.
Okay. I amuse myself. I will stop now.